Hanok is our Korean traditional and vernacular architecture. It's the accumulation of centuries of culture, of history, of building techniques that were built up during time, and it reflects Korea and its traditional values. My name is Daniel Tändler. I'm half Korean and from Germany, and I'm an architect. It's a cultural and architectural asset. Hanok reflects everything that we are and that is here. I think I would put it that way. Well, I've always been driven to Korea in a strange way. I've always loved traditional culture, talking about architecture, traditional music, and all that things. It took me a while to figure out that I wanted to work with Hanok, and that's quite a long story, but yeah, that brought me to Korea. I still cherish my childhood memories from my aunt's Hanok, where I stayed with my cousins and my brother during vacation, and I grew up with lots of Korean stuff around me. Also, our Korean grandmother stayed with us for many years, so she would always make doenjang and ganjang and everything. We had big hangari in our garden, and I don't know, maybe in some way that put something into my mind, something that started to grow and led me to where I am now. We look at construction of old Hanok. You could say the more complicated structures, the more elevated and decorated structures are usually representative buildings, like the palaces, as you mentioned, Buddhist temples or state facilities. And if you compare the old residential buildings with that, they're rather simple. So if you have a tour on the countryside and look at in Korea we call it gotek, the old residences, Hanok residences. Even those of the aristocracy, in my opinion, the most beautiful ones are the most simple ones. You have all those materials, those natural materials like wood, that gives it a unique atmosphere. And also, wood, for example, is very good for the indoor climate. You have spaces that feel so human in some way because of what we talked about before, because of all the scales are made for humans. And you have the courtyard, you have the connection to the outside. You feel the seasons changing, which you sometimes probably won't notice when you live in an apartment. But if you go to the old estates, the sound of the water dropping down the roof overhangs, it's really so beautiful. So you really feel what's happening around you, what's happening in nature, what's going on outside. And I think that's also probably one of the aspects that people appreciate when they're living in Hanok. I think taking the space of Hanok and analyze it and translate it into modern architecture, I think that's a really interesting and exciting task that's waiting for us.